I have a dream, a song to sing, to help me cope with anything. These words, sung by ABBA, are extremely important to me. Want to find out why? I'm Ryan Bordensky, and this is my story. Our story begins somewhere not too far from here, Baltimore, Maryland. I was born on August 15th, 1997, and stayed here for the first few years of my life. But things did not go according to plan when I was born. Unfortunately, my mom broke her pelvis and thus resulted in me being an only child. So, no siblings for me. Now, I know what you're going to say. Isn't it boring being an only child? Well, my answer for you is no. I mean, I had a bunch of friends growing up that I didn't really need a sibling, to be honest. Due to this, my great aunt Nain, who you see here, was responsible for raising me while my mom was in the hospital, and because after that both of my parents had steady full-time jobs. Now, when I was little, I didn't really know how to say Nain's full name, Lorraine, so the nickname Nain caught on quickly. By the time 2001 came around, the family moved to good old Harford County, also not too far from here. Now this was interesting because my great aunt and my grandfather all moved in with my mom, my dad, and me. A nice family of 5 until my grandfather unfortunately passed away in 2011. Here's my mom and dad and me from about 10 years ago, I would say. By the time we moved, I was just about ready to start school, and this is when the fun really began. Well, for me. You know those kids that would always be like, when I grow up, I want to be a police officer, or I want to be an astronaut. Well, that kid was me, except I always said when I grew up, I wanted to be a teacher. I loved my school experiences, and I really had a love for school. I attended William S. James Elementary School in Abingdon, Maryland, all the way through 5th grade. If you fast forward to today, I'm actually studying to become an elementary school teacher now. Teaching youngsters, helping other people, making a difference, and working with kids has always been a great passion of mine, so I wanted a career to embody all of those things. My childhood, other than being raised by my great aunt of course, was pretty typical. And somewhere in that childhood, I had 2 dogs. These dogs were essentially the siblings I never got to have. I got my first dog, Odie, when I was in 5th grade. I got my second dog, Layla, the boxer, when I was in 9th grade. Things seemed to be great. Remember that first line I mentioned? Yeah, I'm getting to that, don't worry. But before that, I have this mentality that God doesn't give you anything He thinks you can't handle, and boy was I in for some change. The past decade has been anything but easy, but it has been compiled of things that have impacted my life immensely. In 2012, my dad struggled with a drug and alcohol addiction that shook up everyone's world. This was sort of a turning point in my life, but unfortunately for the worse. There were rehab centers, court dates, times in and out of jail, a huge part of my life shattered, essentially. Soon after this, my mom lost a job she'd had for over 30 years. Our family faced extreme financial difficulty from this upset, and to this day, things have been rocky at best. And just when I think things couldn't get any worse, my childhood dog, Odie, passed away at the beginning of this school year, which devastated the entire family. It's been a challenge to try and put the pieces back together, and honestly, I don't think things will ever be normal or in a big happy family ever again, but I've accepted the fact that that's okay. Now, I'm not here to share a sob story, and frankly, that's not the story I wish to tell. I mean, I could sit here complaining about how much life sucks or express the raging anger that I've had at certain times in my life, but that's just not who I am. I want to embody who I am, a compassionate, optimistic, fun-loving guy who loves to sing. All the time. And even though things are not at all normal's a little overrated, don't you think? No matter what good or not so good things that have happened in my life, one thing that has been a crucial part of my life has been music and the arts. So, you remember that line I mentioned in the beginning? It greatly applies. If we rewind just a little, we can take it all the way back to elementary school when I was that kid singing and dancing with all of the girls on the playground during recess. I never really used it as trying to be the center of attention, but really because I was having fun and enjoying myself. I knew in that moment I wanted, or rather needed, music to be an integral part of my life. It was not easy, however, as I grew older. I quickly began to realize my interests did not pair up with some of my friends, and I felt a social divide I hadn't really experienced before. Although, I developed a passion for the arts that I never really knew I had. To give a little bit of an overview, I've been in a choir of some kind since 4th grade. I've performed in a multitude of concerts, and as well as this, I've also been a part of several musical and theatrical performances throughout all of my school-age years. I know, it's hard to believe that's me from 4 years ago, right? Played some really strange and weird parts, and sang all over the place. And guess what? I loved every minute of it. This newfound love for music that started at such a young age has evolved into something that means so much to me in life. If you fast forward to present day here at Towson University, I'm actually a member of Towson's many choirs, and I am also the vice president of my a cappella group, Original Blend A Cappella. Original Blend has been one of the best things that has happened to me at Towson. Between the friends I've made and the music we've sung for so many people, and all of the journeys and adventures that we've been on, I seriously could not be more thankful for that group. This intense love for music has caused me to have the most eclectic music taste known to man. I mean, seriously, shuffle my Spotify and enjoy anything from Christmas music to pop punk to country to classical tunes. You name it, I've probably listened to it. I know it sounds a little cliche, but I have no idea where I would be in life without music, singing, and performing. I'm incredibly excited to share my passions with my students and hope that music can impact them in some way like it did for me. The line from ABBA is fitting for this scenario because even through all of the hardships, identity crises, anger, frustrations, music really can help you cope with anything. No matter what I endured and continue to somewhat endure this past decade, I'm proud of myself for staying true to myself. This kind, positive thinking, energetic, people person of a guy. One thing I hate pretending to be is something that I'm not, and when I'm singing or with my performing friends, I really can be my true self. Through music, I've learned finding something you are genuinely passionate about can impact your life in ways you couldn't even imagine. To say music and the arts have impacted my life would be a grotesque understatement, and I can't express how thankful I am for all of the experiences, and the ones yet to come. Two sayings I live my life by to a T are, everything happens for a reason, and everything will always work out in the end. Singing has become that passion of mine that I will hold on to for as long as I possibly can. Performing and sharing my love for music and the arts is something I hope can impact other people's lives as well, not just my own. I remember seeing a tattoo once that said, "When words fail, music speaks." This tattoo really inspired me because it could not be more true. Finding something you are passionate about can be difficult, but once you find it, let it be what makes you you. I'm happy to say through everything that happened, and might continue to happen, I was able to maintain such a positive mindset, and as a result, can inspire other people to think the same way. Music is a culmination of so many things to me, a remedy, a medicine, a passion, a friend, a world, a power, all in one. My story, though not the most earth-shattering, is one I like to tell not to receive pity from others or make people feel bad, but rather to remind people as terrible as things seem, they're going to get better. I struggle with accepting this, but I seriously cannot stress it enough. Find something you are passionate about and let it define you. Dare to be different and weird, because normal is so overrated. Once again, I'm incredibly thankful for all the people in my life who have made such a significant impact. I'm especially grateful for my friends back home and the friends I've made here at Towson University.
It's good to be alive right about now. Good to be alive right about now. Good to be alive right about now. Let that bass moving.
Well, there you have it. ABBA couldn't have said it any better. I have dreams and aspirations, my song to sing. Music is healing, therapeutic, supportive, and uplifting, and it will help me cope with anything. Never ever stop doing what you love, and never think you're not good enough, because you are. I truly hope my story reaches out and inspires others, the way my passion for the arts has influenced me in my life. So, who am I? I'm Ryan Bordensky, and that is the story I wish to tell.
I've been waiting for this moment. It's good to be alive right about now. Good, 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 good to be alive right about now. Good, 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 good to be alive right about now. Let that bass line move and say, it's good to be alive right about now. Good, good, good to be alive right about now. Good, good, good to be alive right about now. Let that bass line move and say, it's good to be alive right about now. I was dead in the water, nobody wanted me. I was old news, I went cold as cold could be. But I kept throwing on cold, trying to make that.
By the way, if you would notice behind me, I have a collage of a bunch of pictures of me and my friends and some family, and these boards really mean a lot to me because it represents all of the people that are very important in my life, all of the sort of adventures we've been on together, and all kinds of things. So, yeah, thanks for watching.